We're going to head over to PFF and we're going to review a mock draft. This one's going to be 2 rounds, and after we review the mock draft, we're going to rank these guys with their landing spots. Reviewing the mock draft will give us an idea of the flow of the draft, and then when we rank the guys, we have the idea of the order, the draft capital, all that stuff, so we can really appropriate their values. Also, this is like one of the last mocks before the combine. Well, the combine's going on now, but tomorrow is the running backs. Then we got the wide receivers, quarterbacks, tight ends, and everything else. Expect a lot of content this weekend. Might want to hit that subscribe button right now because I'm dropping a lot of reactions, a lot of updates from the combine right here on this channel. But let's go ahead. Let's go to PFF. Let's dig into this mock draft. Let's see if they got any craziness. Right now, they're trying to advertise 4 QBs in the top 10. I wonder who it could be. I wonder who these quarterbacks are. So let's go. Let's get this started. Let's look at this here. So first pick off the board is Bryce Young to the Colts. They trade up to get this from Chicago. Drafting Bryce Young. I think this is a good spot for him. Indoors. Good offensive line. You got a running back. This team builds around their quarterbacks. They like to get wide receivers. They got one last year. They'll probably get some more. I like this spot for him, especially with the size issues everyone's talking about. This could be the best landing spot for him. Hopefully this happens because I would like to see this. Moving down here, CJ Stroud to the Texans at 2. Very interesting fit. I think the Texans are going to be taking a quarterback, and they're going to have a developmental process there as teams retooling. But CJ Stroud could be the guy for them. Either way, QB1, QB2 in Superflex, it doesn't really change much whether they take Stroud or they take Young. We know they're taking one of these guys. It's been baked in their values this whole time. Moving down here, Anthony Richardson to the Panthers, jumping up to 3 overall. So in this alternate reality, this means the tape checks out for the Panthers, means he should get a long leash, means he's going to get the opportunity, means this will bump up his dynasty value in Superflex. So you got to bake that into the rankings, bake that into his draft capital. Whether you want to fade him or not, that adds to his value. So that's how it is. That's just how it is. Going on down here, Jalen Carter. Saw him at the Combine today. Will Anderson. Christian Gonzalez. We're moving down here. Next up, fourth quarterback, QB number 4, Will Levis to the Raiders. We've seen him mock to the Raiders a lot. Think about this. This is a very tricky destination for him. You're going to have Devontae Adams. Who knows what they're going to have at running back? Who knows how this team's going to be like from now, a year or so? Devontae Adams isn't going to be there forever. I'm not sure if he's going to want to be there. There's talk maybe Aaron Rodgers pairing back up with Devontae Adams. Plus it's Vegas. Vegas is pretty cool. I don't know. I'm not in love with Will Levis. I do see why NFL teams would like him. He's a bigger quarterback, big arm, can sling it. Decision-making, man, is questionable. Is he going to have enough around him here in Vegas? That's the question. Is it going to happen? Going down here, Tyree Williams, Devin Witherspoon, Paris Johnson to the Eagles, Peter Skoronski, and then here we go, one for us, Quentin Johnston to the Houston Texans. Just about every mock has the Texans going quarterback, wide receiver. Quarterback, wide receiver. Is that actually going to happen? Is that actually going to happen? Or are they going to go another position with the second pick? Because I could see them doing that. That doesn't mean it's a lock for this to happen. They may want to get another wide receiver. It's in the needs. I get it. But there's other needs as well. You can't ignore all of that. You just can't. But every single mock has one of the other wide receivers here. One of those big 3 going here. It's Jordan Addison. It's Quentin Johnston. It's somebody else. Jackson Smith-Njigba. It's somebody. It's always one of these guys. Quentin Johnston. It's going to be a developmental period, like I said, with every single one of these rookie wide receivers going here, and you're going to be able to buy a dip on them if you want them. Like, you don't have to pay up in this year's draft. You can probably catch them a little cheaper 12 to 18 months from now because this whole team's retooling. You're getting a rookie. You got a new coach. You got a lot going on here. You got a lot going on. You're going to have to let things simmer a little bit. And now we got Zay Flowers to the Patriots. Some people are not going to like that, But eventually, they're going to have to up the passing game. Eventually, something's going to happen. Again, this is going to be another player you're going to catch at a discount. He's a good wide receiver. He's very good. He's very technical. He's got good ball skills. Thing about him is he's not really a generational, transcendent talent. And those types of players, if they go anywhere, they're balling. Him over here could be all right fantasy asset no matter what. But honestly, you're going to have to just see where the value is. I imagine he's still going to be just cheap. Imagine if he goes here, you're catching him late first, early second, or something like that. And you know what? The value is good for a first-round wide receiver. Maybe it takes a year or two. Maybe not. Maybe not. But you know what? If the value's there, you're going to have to chase it. Dalton Kincaid to the Green Bay Packers coming up. Thing about this is the Packers are not going to be what you think they are in the next couple years, next year, especially if Aaron Rodgers leaves. This is going to be some dark ages. There's going to be transitions. I mean, Jordan Love behind the line of scrimmage. Are you going to be excited about a rookie tight end going there in the first round? Plus, it's a rookie tight end. We all know that. And plus, tight ends in general. Like, honestly, they're so volatile week to week. I don't suggest paying up for a tight end. You're probably going to have to pay up to get him. You might be able to catch him at a discount if Aaron Rodgers is gone before your rookie draft. If that happens, sure. But you're just going to have to pay the market with him in Dynasty. Moving down, Joe Porter, Darnell Wright, Branch to the Detroit Lions. Nolan Smith balled out today at the Combine. Here we go. Seattle gets Jackson Smith. Nick Jigba. We've had him in a few mocks going to Seattle, and I love this spot for him. I really love this because you have DK Metcalf taking off the top. You still got Tyler Lockett. Jackson Smith and Jigba can play in the slot. You can play on the outside a little bit, switch in and out with Tyler Lockett. They can be very creative with this group of wide receivers. Plus, he's young. He can transition when Tyler Lockett's out. I love this. I think this is good for real football. I think this could be good for fantasy. I think this is a good spot for him. Probably sneaky, too. You might see some people fade him. I don't care. I think this is a good spot. Going down here to our next Dynasty guy to come off the board. Michael Mayer to the Jacksonville Jaguars. When this was made, Evan Ingram didn't get tagged. He wasn't going to be with the team, I guess. And they're expecting them to take Michael Mayer, even though it takes a few years for a tight end to develop. So even if Ingram's there, maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, Mayer starts hitting. He's the guy there. That's the thing about it. That's the thing about these tight ends. It takes some years. Either way, if Ingram's there or not, in this alternate reality, you're getting him cheaper in 2024 or 2025. More than likely. It's not going to hit right away. It's so rare. That's so rare. Just think of it like that when you're looking at these tight ends. That's how I feel about the tight end position in Dynasty, especially in rookie drafts. I don't care if I miss because I know more than likely my rules here are not going to miss 95% of the time. Jordan Addison to the Giants. Love it. They're able to get these ancillary jabroni wide receivers to hit on a week-to-week basis last year. Able to get them air yards and targets. Jordan Addison can really just step in there and get the same thing, if not more, like that, and really develop here. If Danny Dimes is still there or not, Jordan Addison would be a good fit here. Just about any wide receiver in this class would probably do well, just because of the volume. Bijan Robinson to the Cowboys. You can't really say anything negative on Bijan. I can't wait to see what he does at the Combine. I'm not expecting him to run in the 4.3s. I expect him to be all right. I hope it runs a little slower than expected, actually, just so I can see who just wants to react. That's my thing, because I'm already pegged in concrete where I'm at with him. He better run a 4.8. Maybe I'll think about it, but that ain't going to happen. He's going to be all right. Dallas getting Bijan, this is just going to accelerate the hype train, just because it's Dallas. That's all I got to say about that. Bills go Cyrus. We saw him at the Senior Bowl. Harrison, is that it for us? Yep, looks like it so far. Kind of forget what's going on in this draft. And that's it with the first round. Now we're going to jump to the second round here, which is going to be interesting as well. Again, this one does not have descriptions for each pick. No reasons why. But we're going to our first Dynasty player, Luke Musgrave to the Saints. Fun team. It's a fun team because they get air yards no matter what. Whether it's Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston, it doesn't matter who's back there. We get air yards. We also have Jalen Hyatt to the Tennessee Titans. Not a huge Hyatt guy. I like him for the air yards. I don't see many air yards coming out of Tennessee. Fade. This is a big fade. Draft capital in the second round. Don't like this. Not huge on Hyatt. But again, as an air yards guy, he's going to hold value in fantasy due to air yards, more like a DFS scenario. If you get him in Dynasty, you just got to be patient. You got to know how to play guys like that who are volatile week to week. It's pretty much just throw them in your lineup, close your eyes on those plus matchups. But that's pretty much it. You just look for the over-unders and play like that. At 50 overall, Tampa Bay selects Darnell Washington from Georgia. Hyper-athletic tight end prospect who can block. Excited to see what he does at the combine. Interesting scenario here. We got Kate Otten as well. So this could be a good spot for him. Again, tight ends are going to tight end. You're probably going to catch him at like third, fourth rounds of rookie drafts. So he's a good guy to get cheap. And then looking down here, I'm going to pull him up a little bit. Tucker Kraft from San Diego State going to the Chargers. Another cheap tight end. Another guy you'll get late in rookie drafts. A good situation here because we know Herbert can sling it. And then right behind him is Cedric Tillman to the Detroit Lions. I think this is another good spot for him. I don't think he'll get drafted this high. I don't think the Lions will pull the trigger here. If they would draft Tillman, if they were interested, it'd be a little bit later in the draft. I think Detroit Lions got a philosophy going on, and there's other positions for them to go with. I know some Lions fans watch the channel, so let me know what you think about this pick and where would you go in this spot, especially when you look at the players around them. Going down, and we got a hit. And it's Jahmyr Gibbs to the Bills. Jahmyr Gibbs to the Bills, you know that's going to pump him up dynasty boards. And we got a guy that a lot of people like, Josh Downs, going to the Eagles. That's a tough one for a lot of people because you know he's not getting targets over A.J. Brown. You know he's not getting targets over Devonta Smith. He's a slot guy, though. He's a slot guy. He is not a guy you're going to put on perimeter that much. You will. He can do it. But you want him in the slot. This makes a good fit NFL-wise. And maybe he'll have some up and down moments where he's fantasy relevant. So you don't want to ignore him because you know he's cerebral. You know he's nuanced. But you know what? It's going to be hard to want to pull the trigger on him. And then you got Devin Achane here going to the Chiefs. Different from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Get that out of your mouth. Get that taste out of there. Devin Achane is more closer to a Jerick McKinnon type than he is to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was small and slow, and he wasn't even the starter for a lot of his career. Nick Brossonette was starting over him. Devin Achane here, if they do this, I envision him taking the Jerick McKinnon spot and just being that speed back. The thing about him, Jerick McKinnon's stout in the pass blocking game. He's very cerebral. He's a former quarterback coming out of college, also a good running back. He ran a lot as a quarterback and then went to Minnesota, went to the 49ers, been around the league a lot. Devin Achane catching balls out of the backfield, more of a receiver out of the backfield. Different type. But if they were doing this scenario, drafting him in the top 100, if the Chiefs did that, it's to fill that Jerick McKinnon role. That's it. Let him develop there. Let him learn the position. That's where he's going to be. You might be able to catch him at a discount later, but that's what they're going to envision him doing. Because Jerick McKinnon's in his 30s. Devin Achane could be the next guy up for them, and that's what I envision them doing. But let's go ahead and rank these players real quick. We are back to the tier maker. We're going to rank these guys. Usually it's just a one-round draft, and we just got like 3 receivers, a couple quarterbacks, Bijan Robinson, and 2 tight ends. But we got a stacked one today, baby. We got a bunch of tight ends, some wide receivers, same amount of quarterbacks. A lot to look at here. 2 running backs. So let's get into this. We know what we're going to start things out with. Bijan Robinson hanging out at the S tier. Look at him. He's going to be there. 2 QB, 1 QB. That's where he's at. He's going to be valued a little higher. A little bit more diamond hands on him since he's going to Dallas. That's just the Dallas premium right there. A, looking similar to all the other ones, just with different teams with him. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. QB1, QB2, and we're ranking this as super flex. If not, it'd just be weird because you just have the quarterbacks at the bottom anyway. So if it's 1 QB, just throw your quarterbacks at the bottom. In ADP, you got Bryce Young somewhere like the 110, 1.8, 1.9 range. Don't even listen to that, because quarterbacks in this draft should be going later than that in 1 QB. If you got a generational quarterback, yes, you can throw him in the first round of 1 QB drafts, but this is not that type of class. So don't be valuing your quarterbacks like that in 1 QB. Don't do it. So we still got some room to go in this tier. We still got some things to do here. Jahmyr Gibbs, first off, he's going off the board after these guys in ADP for sure if this happens. People are going to be drafting him up. They're going to love that he goes to the Bills. They love his pass-catching prowess, him and James Cook there. People are going to love this. I am going to throw Jackson Smith-Njigba here, and you can flop these guys, do what you want. This is called a tier. These guys are valued close. So if you want to do this, if you want to do that, go ahead and do it. But I wouldn't suggest it. You want that quarterback value in Superflex, but you know what? I'm not in love with these quarterbacks. So you do whatever the fuck you want to do. Let's go on to this next tier. This tier is kind of self-explanatory. I like Jackson Smith-Njigba. I like that he's with DK Metcalf. Jahmyr Gibbs, grand situation. Value's high. He's probably already top 10 running back in Dynasty at this landing spot in draft capital. They're locked in. Let's go to B. Let's shake some shit out here. So it would be Anthony Richardson. He's got top tier draft capital. Usually I got him here or here and I'm bouncing him around a little bit. I can't do that. That value is high. That means tape checked out somewhere for the Panthers. They paid up that premium, and that value in Superflex is up. He's less of a guy people were wavering on. More people want him now. That's the thing about that, because he went super high in this alternate reality. And now we're looking at the wide receivers, Quentin Johnson, Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison trumps Quentin Johnson in this situation due to landing spot. I got these guys talented, very close together, but in different spectrums, so they're not like the same. The thing about this is he's paired with Stroud, and he's on the Texans. This is a retooling process. I can rebuy him later cheaper, so I'm going to put more of a premium on Addison. Anthony Richardson's got that super flex value. I want it to be like this, him in the back. But I know value-wise I can't do that. How about I just split the gap here? It's a tier. You do whatever the fuck you want to do in it. And then Zay Flowers. Throw him in there. Just throw him in there. I mean, Quentin Johnson you're going to have to wait on. Why not wait on Zay Flowers too? What happens if the Patriots just start slinging it? The new coaching staff, things change. Who knows? New quarterback. Zay Flowers, if you're going to talk about him being talented all offseason and you just change it like that just because he goes to the Patriots, then you weren't really in on him. He can get deep. He's nuanced. He's skilled. Let's roll with him here because we got some weird shit going on. Devin Achane, I want to talk about him. I don't not know where to put him compared to other players. Top of C, B. I don't want to overreact. I don't want to underreact. We don't have any other running backs to talk about. The running backs are holding value. I'm going to just slide him here. You do whatever you want with him. I'm back in B guy, top end C guy. I like that he's going to the Chiefs. You don't want to chase everybody going to the Chiefs, but you do want to chase everybody going to the Chiefs. Maybe they're bad at drafting. Maybe they take a bit to develop there because we got Sky Moore not developing. We don't have Clyde Edwards-Helaire anymore. Maybe there's something with the skill position. But Isaiah Pacheco hit. Why can't Devin Achane? Devin Achane's probably going to have his own role. People are going to be excited about him. He's probably going to hold value for a bit as well. And the thing about C is we got the misfits here that have some upside. We're talking about Will Levis. He's a misfit. But he's also going to a situation I hate. I'm not a huge Will Levis guy. I'm not huge on this quarterback class. I'm not going to lie. I like it a lot better than last year's class, but that's not saying much. That's not saying much at all. Then Jalen Hyatt. Not huge on him, but I do like air yards wide receivers from a DFS perspective. It's just this landing spot just not play into what he's good at, so I'm pulling him down here. Josh Downs. Going to be the wide receiver 3 or the 4th pass catcher in the offense, maybe depending on how Dallas Goedert's value. And they're going to bring in a running back. I think I just saw a thing on Twitter that they want to get multiple running backs just to have things filled up. So they could get a pass-catching back. You got Gainwell there as well. It's still there. So a lot can happen there in the passing game. Not enough targets to go around there. He's not getting targets over A.J. Brown. He's not getting targets over Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith's baked in there now. He's developed. We saw what he can do. He's a high-end wide receiver, too, in Dynasty. You're not taking targets from him. So his value's going down. He's a nuanced wide receiver. He's going to be a slot guy in this situation. No, the opportunity of him playing a lot outside, it's not going to be there. It's definitely not. So he's going to be the wide receiver 3, maybe the 4th or 3rd pass catcher in the offense. We'll have to see in this scenario if he goes to the Eagles. Cedric Tillman. I don't know what to think of this. He's an older wide receiver. He's got some good things on tape. He had that 1,000-yard season. Got hurt. Very interesting prospect profile. Not paying up for him. Not doing that at all. But he's going to the Lions. He's got draft capital. There's volume there. I'm going to just throw him here in D. I just don't see the Lions doing this either. I don't see it realistic. There's other wide receivers on the board. Keishon Butte should have got drafted. It should have went off the board over Tillman. I think that's a mistake. But it's PFF. They make all kinds of mistakes. Their whole website's a mistake. But let's throw in these tight ends. I saved them all for last. Michael Mayer going to the Jaguars in this alternate reality, even though they re-upped Evan Ingram. But that's all good. Long term. That's tight end position is a long-term thing when you take one. If you pay up for a tight end, be patient with them. Because if you just sell him the next year, you just wasted your time. Dalton Kincaid, just because he got first-round draft capital, first tight end off the board, and he's a good receiving tight end. Who knows what happens over 3 years, 4 years from now, because that's what you're going to have to wait for. We got some other guys here. I'm just going to throw them down here and just talk about them. Darnell Washington, I like him. He's a talented guy. You can throw him here if you want to just be playful, but I'm going to keep him down here just for the fun of it. Hyper athletic, good tight end prospect, can block his face off. Really want to help this team. Might be better for the NFL than fantasy. You guys see how things shake out, especially here on the Bucs with the quarterback situation. Luke Musgrave killed it at the Senior Bowl. Can be a good pass-catching tight end. Saints, air yards machine. We've been trying to get the tight end of the Saints for some time. We got one here, baby. We got one here. Are you ready to draft him up? Everyone likes Musgrave. I liked him. I liked him from the Senior Bowl. One of my dudes, Sam Laporta. This is one of my dudes. I like Laporta. I think he's solid. Had a high-end market share rate this year. It was in the 30 percentile. I think like 34% market share of teams' passing production. Led the team in receiving, but that doesn't say much since it's Iowa. This guy's got some skills too. I'm going to just keep him here. There's not much difference between D and E. You're going to catch Laporta late-ish. People like the Bengals. They'll pay the Bengals premium for him. They'll also pay Chargers premium too for Kraft. So we have some interesting ideas here at the tight end spot. Ultimately, I'm into Tier E. I'm into Musgrave. I'm not against Kincaid or Mayer, but they're probably going to be a little overpriced because there's going to be other running backs. There's going to be other wide receivers. Looking at how these wide receivers went, there's going to be some cheaper wide receivers who got round 3, day 3 draft capital that you may want to gamble on. That you may want to look at because PFF does some wacky things with their drafts. But this is it. I feel pretty confident. I like this draft so far. I like how I got these guys ranked. I think I'm going to stick right here. Let me know in the comments below what you think about these players. What do you think about this mock draft in general? Are there any picks that you hate or love? What do you think your team did in this draft? Did you like it or not? I'm going to hear about it. Make sure you smash that subscribe button on the way out. I'm going to have a ton of content for you over the combine, especially when these running backs start to go, these tight ends, these wide receivers. A lot of videos over the weekend. Really going to keep you guys on your toes. Probably some more afterwards. I want to thank you for watching, though. I'll catch you on the next video.